Dr. Andreas Fouras, founder, managing director, and CEO of 4DMedical, has pioneered world-first respiratory imaging technologies, now gaining global recognition. The company has achieved 3 historic milestones within days: FDA clearance for CTVQ, US CMS reimbursement approval, and new agreements with Royal Melbourne Hospital, Spectrum Medical Imaging, and a leading global pharmaceutical company. With CTVQ positioned as the world's first non-contrast CT-based ventilation-perfusion technology and a potential $1.1 billion addressable US market, 4DMedical stands at the frontier of transforming respiratory diagnostics. Dr. Andreas Fouras joins me now to discuss 4DMedical's breakthrough moments, commercialization strategy, and what lies ahead for investors and patients. Andreas, welcome to the Stock Network.
Hey, Lel, thank you so much.
Now, 4DMedical has announced FDA clearance, CMS reimbursement, and major hospital and pharma agreements all within a single week. How would you describe this moment in 4DMedical's journey?
It's incredible. We've been working for years now, building the business that we have at 4D, just pushing one brick at a time to build all of these pieces. And it's incredibly gratifying to see, the rush of outcome. You really work, running a business underneath the water, building things together. But when it all rushes up above the surface for everybody to see, it's really exciting and a great experience.
Absolutely. Now, CTVQ has become the first and only non-contrast CT-based VQ scan technology. What were the key factors behind achieving FDA clearance? And also, how does this milestone accelerate your commercial rollout?
We approached it methodically. We reached out to FDA. We spoke to them in advance. We asked them what do they want to see in terms of clinical trial results, and we gave them just exactly what it was that they wanted. I'm sure it helps as well that they can really see a significant need that patients and doctors around the country and then around the world are going to do better without having to be injected or without having to have access to specialized equipment to get that information of what blood flow looks like in their lungs.
Excellent. Now, CMS has confirmed reimbursement at US $650.50 per scan. How important is this reimbursement pathway for scaling adoption across US hospitals and imaging centers?
So that reimbursement's for the outpatient scheme, and that it is great that we have a higher reimbursement than the competing technology. So that means that from the first go, folks can, when they shift their technology from delivering the current product to ours, immediately they get an uplift in that reimbursement, and that is absolutely helpful. But it's just one part of the picture. We also have savings, increased efficiencies, better safety profile. So across a whole range of areas, we have everything lined up so that every single reason for a doctor or a hospital to make a decision to take on this technology, it lies there to support them going to yes. It makes it a no-brainer.
And with over 1 million nuclear VQ scans performed annually in the US, how do you see CTVQ capturing market share? And also, do you still believe it can ultimately displace 100% of nuclear VQ scans?
We really do. We're replacing a 1-hour procedure, with a piece of software on top of a scan that you've already performed. We're replacing something that requires 2 lots of radioactive agent to enter your body with something that doesn't have that requirement. We have a higher reimbursement. And also there are many, many more CT scanners available in the country. So once again, just every piece of the story pushes behind making the change. We really do think it's a no-brainer. And capturing 100% of that market is just the beginning. Once we have that, once we've replaced those million scans, we feel that doctors are going to want more, and that market is going to rapidly grow beyond that million.
Now, onto that, expanding into new applications beyond replacing the nuclear VQ scans, what new clinical opportunities do you see for CTVQ in disease monitoring, lung cancer screening, and also other conditions?
So I think that everyday doctors right now think that they would like to be able to see the blood flow in their patients' lungs, but they defer making that choice either because they're at a hospital that doesn't have the necessary equipment, or that they just don't have, they don't think it warrants the risk to the patient, the cost to themselves and the healthcare system. If we make this technology really readily available, economically viable for everyone to use, there are almost unlimited applications for it. Certainly, if someone's going in for a surgical procedure, that's a really great opportunity. If someone's suffering from long-term condition, a chronic lung disease like emphysema from smoking, also great opportunity. So I think by making this technology readily available at every hospital, whether they have nuclear equipment or not, making it safe, cheap, fast, I think the market is going to grow from 1 million to many millions per year.
Excellent. And onto the global rollout and partnerships, you've also just announced a collaboration in Brazil with a leading pharmaceutical company, and also agreements with Royal Melbourne Hospital and Spectrum Medical Imaging in Australia. How did these partnerships shape your global strategy?
The core thread between those three announcements was that we are now wrapping our technology around folks who need to do lung cancer screening, so or lung health screening. So I think that's something that Australia has made a decision. Other parts of the world have made that decision. It's a really good idea for someone to come in and get their screening for lung cancer or for other conditions. But once they do that, once they've gone to the effort, come in and gotten that CAT scan, that CT scan of their lungs, there is so much more value that we can add and we can wrap around that. And that's exactly what our partners are recognizing. So across those organizations, from Royal Melbourne to Spectrum and the major pharmaceutical player and hospitals in Brazil, they think if us and the patient have gone to the effort to get that CT scan, let's see how much value we can add and we can wrap around that. And we're really excited to be doing that for health globally.
And Andreas, a quick question about the stock. It's up more than 400% in the last month. How do you balance investor excitement with the long-term commercials and the long-term really commercialization pathway?
Well, I think we've been doing the same thing that we've been doing here at 4DMedical for quite some time. So we are building piece by piece, brick by brick, what we expect to be a generational business that's going to deliver really very significant amounts of revenue at very high margins. And I think that it's great to see that investors are starting to see the value that we're building by doing that in that way. I'm excited by it, and I think that we're really only just getting started, and there's a lot more opportunity to come.
Thank you so much for the update today. Congratulations on those recent developments, and look forward to seeing what's ahead for 4DMedical.
Thanks so much, Lel.